I haven't recorded in so long. I've been so busy with a couple of things, but I am here to talk about protective styles. So as you guys may know, I have been on a protective style streak for a couple of months now, just because I wanted to try a couple of things, you know, switch up some things in my regimen as far as my protective styling, because, you know, being on a hair journey, some things that you used to do in the past may not work as well for you in your current hair journey situation. So what my problem was, as you guys may know, as you've seen from my last relax update, was I was bunning quite often, and I was starting to notice that I was receiving a thinning area in the back of my hair. The purpose of a protective style is to help you retain length. It definitely helped me retain a lot of length because it helps you retain your moisture that you have, versus if you are consistently wearing your hair down, your hair kind of will get a little dry. And as well as if you're wearing your hair down a lot, the hair tends to brush up against like your clothing or, you know, a zipper, depending on how long your hair is. So protective styles help keep your hair out of the way and help you retain length as far as avoiding breakage and things like that. So that is what protective styles are really good for. Now, there is some cons about protective styles that you have to be careful with as well. Sometimes when you wear buns in the same exact area or any protective style of your choice repeatedly in the same area, you can experience some breakage and some damage in that area. So I am here to tell you the different protective styles you can do to switch up a couple of things and, you know, help you figure out, well, why is this doing that or why is that doing this? So the things that are not protective styles that I tend to get questioned about, because some people tend to mix up the two. Protective styles are more so styles that your hair is kept out of the way or not exposed, or, you know, anything that doesn't require too much maintenance and too much combing through. Those are what protective styles are, and I mentioned before, which are the sew-ins, wigs, buns, braids, and sometimes hats, depending on what you do to them. Now, what the things that are not protective styles, which are low manipulation styles, which are your braid outs, your twist outs, your Bantu knots, your roller set saran wrap method, or your roller sets. Those are not protective styles. So those are low manipulation styles that require no heat. So that's a really big difference between the two that some people kind of get a little confused about. So protective styles are when your hair is completely out of the way. Low manipulation styles are styles that are usually styles that are used no heat or easy to maintain throughout the week with no heat. So hopefully that answers a lot of your questions as well. So on your hair journey, you do examine your hair quite often because you're taking a lot of pictures. I hope you guys are taking pictures. That helps you monitor what's going on with your hair. So of course I was monitoring my hair and I started to realize I had the thinning area, and I found out it was because of buns. Now the thing with protective styles, you must always kind of switch up your protective styles, whether it's your sew-in, which is a protective style, your buns, which are a protective style, wig wearing is a protective style, and braids are a protective style. Now with sew-ins, you must really be careful as well, because as far as the braiding pattern and how you're braiding, how often you're braiding, how tight the hair is being sewn onto the braids, the construction of the sew-in and the install, so have you. All of that stuff plays a big part in how protective the style is, and if the protective style is doing you more damage. Now, it should not do you damage if your sewing is done correctly, and of course you would speak with your stylist about how to do your sewing correctly. As well as buns. Buns are also great, but what can also happen with buns, if you're doing them repeatedly in the same area like I was, you're going to get a thinning area in that particular area. So you must always switch that bun around, and you know, alternate the areas and things like that, because what happens with some protective styles, if you're receiving a lot of tension in the same exact area repeatedly over and over again, you're going to get some breakage. As well as that goes for braids as well. Braids are also great protective styles, but if your hair feels like it's too tight around the hairline, or if something feels too tight and it's causing you some kind of uncomfortable situation, you must fix that like ASAP. As as well as wigs. Wigs are also a great protective style, which is one of my personal favorites. You must always when you have some kind of protective style, always figure out a way how to maintain your hair underneath. Like me, what I've been doing is wigs are one of my main protective styles. As of currently, I do still wear my buns, but as far as like what I like to wear recently is wigs, just because my hair is completely out of the way and I keep my hair in braids underneath my wigs. And nightly, when I do wear my wigs, I always moisturize and seal. So that's kind of what you always want to do, depending on the kind of protective style that you have. Make sure that your hair is always moisturized and sealed, either every night, depending on what your hair needs. Some people can't moisturize and seal every 2 days, or you know, you would figure that out. But what I like to use is the RRS olive oil incredibly rich oil moisturizing hair lotion, which looks like this. And then what I've recently loved sealing with is, you know, the sweet almond oil. So you can go ahead and, you know, moisturize and seal with whatever moisturizer and whatever oil of your choice. So you definitely want to make sure that your hair is always moisturized and always well taken care of, with whatever, you know, protective style of your choice is. Also did forget to mention that hats can also be great protective styles, especially for, you know, the winter months. But protective styles are good all year round, but if you live in a dry climate, protective styles will definitely be your friend. For example, if you're living in the cold climate, those cute little beanies that kind of, you know, are kind of loose towards the back, you can just definitely moisturize and seal your hair and just tuck your hair in that beanie, and that will protect your hair from the environment or the dry air or whatever. So that's what you can definitely do as far as protective styles too, because I almost forgot to mention that hats are good too. So like always with any protective style, you want to maintain your regimen throughout the week. I am still shampooing and conditioning my hair once a week and doing a co-wash during the week. Since my schedule has become a little bit more busy, I'm only shampooing once a week and I'm only co-washing once a week. And that has been working really well for me, as well as I'm moisturizing and sealing every single night with my protective styles. So I do alternate from my wigs to my buns depending on how I'm feeling, but when I want to be really extra, I will throw on one of my wigs just because it's convenient for me. So with that being said, whichever protective style works for you is kind of something that you have to figure out when you're on your hair journey, because protective styles are a major plus when you want to, you know, grow out your hair. But you must also be careful with some of the cons that protective styles bring, because with protective styles, it helps keep your hair out of the way, it helps retain length, helps retain your moisture, keeps your hair tucked away, you know, out of the environment and the air to dry out your hair. So that's one of the benefits of protective styles. And I already mentioned the cons to protective styles, which are, you know, the breakage, the tension in certain areas that can cause breakage, and thinning in certain areas like it happened to me. So if you guys do have any questions, feel free to comment about those below, and I would love to answer those for you, as well as I do have an email address where I am taking direct questions if you feel a little like you need a little more direct you know, response right away. I do have that email address, and I will list that down below, which is ulovemegzquestions@gmail.com. So you guys can go ahead and send me questions there, because it's just easier for me to answer all your questions because they go straight to my phone versus the comment area, which can be a little flooded at times. So if you guys want to go ahead and shoot me an email, go ahead and do that, and I will talk to you guys later.